Welcome to Success Coaching Part 4, an instructional training video developed by Academic Support Programs in the Holman Success Center. Let's get started. Before the meeting. I'll typically pull the folders from my students for the day's meetings in the morning and flip through them over a cup of coffee to refresh my memory. You can also check the advising notes online for any meetings the student may have had with you and other staff members. For my EDGE students, I'll update the study table hours on a new check-in form, and then I'll pull any resources from the resource library that I plan to use. For quieter students, I'll refer to that coaching curriculum that I mentioned earlier. Hopefully, your first meeting with the student went well and they returned to see you again in a couple of weeks. The HSC Success Coaching Check-in form was created to help guide your meeting with prompts for open-ended questions and blanks that can prompt discussions, such as current course grades and EDGE program requirements, if those are applicable. If you like, you can print these off double-sided to save paper using one side per meeting. You can also choose to just leave the reverse blank for additional notes of your own, or for sketching out ideas with your student during the meeting. The form is also designed to promote an intrusive advising model. You may have heard this called proactive advising. The purpose is to uncover potential roadblocks or problems before they're negatively affecting our student. In the wellness section, I'll ask my student things like, when was the last time you ate something green that's not Jell-O? How about something fresh? How many hours of sleep are you getting? In the academic support section, I'll note things the student has agreed to do before their next meeting, such as attend tutoring, increase their hours at EST, or visit a professor's office hours. Finally, in the eBill section, I don't need to know how much the student owes. I do need for the student to know how much they owe and to have begun thinking about a plan to resolve that balance before the next registration period. Students can access their e-bills from their phones, so I'll usually just say, I want to make sure they know how to do that. If they report they have a balance and they want to talk about it, then we can start talking about how they're going to resolve it. Some tips for success coaching. You have to start building that relationship from the first day that you meet. That means if you aren't making eye contact with that student in class or using their name when you call on them, they likely won't have much of a desire to open up to you one-on-one. With that in mind, do your best to not treat your student like a checklist. Let them drive the conversation with you. The success coaching forums are just there to provide guardrails. We'll also be practicing open-ended questions in person, as well as how to be good company for your student. And finally, we'll be talking about setting professional boundaries and how to steer an off-the-rails conversation back to your area of expertise, which is the academics. Some warning signs that you may notice with your students include missing classes, your class or other classes. Students not knowing their grades or throwing out estimates like, oh, that's probably a B or something, or saying things like, my professor doesn't use Canvas, so I can't know my grade. A student who is admitting that they aren't doing the reading is probably headed for trouble, as is a student who says they don't know when their next exam is for a given subject. Well done! The fifth and final part of this series presents some additional tools and tips for you to use. We'll see you there.